Hey there, this is Fred Basimo. I'm the host and producer of the Make Money and Have Fun show, where I'm sitting down every single week interviewing authors, speakers, coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, investors, millionaires, billionaires, you name it. We're going live every single week, and you don't want to miss an episode. And one of the ways that I'm able to put this show on is through what I use to produce this show, which is Anchor.fm. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest and fastest way to make a podcast out there. Let me explain. First of all, Anchor is absolutely free. They don't charge you a dime for anything on Anchor. So it's absolutely free. There's also creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you. Check this out. This is so cool. It's one of my favorite things about Anchor. Anchor distributes your podcast to over half a dozen different places where podcasts can be listened to. So you might be listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever your podcast platform of choice is, Anchor can most likely distribute it there for you. And you can also make money from your podcast on Anchor with no minimum listenership. It's everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if you haven't already, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Once again, that's Anchor.fm, or download the app right on your phone. It's absolutely free, like we mentioned before. And if you want to start podcasting, if you have something to say, if you want to get started with your podcast, if you already have a podcast, this is the best and easiest and fastest option that I would recommend to anybody. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Make Money and Have Fun show. On today's show, we are getting some women power going on in here. I love bringing women on here. I love bringing everybody on here. All my guests are absolutely amazing. But today, I'm super excited because I'm talking to a good friend, Shannon Parsons. And every time I talk to this girl, she just imparts so much wisdom out there that I'm excited to see what we got in store for today. So let's see what's going on.
My motto in life is make money and have fun. I'm on a mission to show everyone how to make money, yeah, and have fun. I'm all about making money and having fun.
All right, so here's the deal. For those of you that don't know Shannon, I like to call Shannon the secret weapon of business, and that's actually the title of today's show. So I want to give you a little background story on Shannon Parsons. Shannon is an empathetic leader whose experience is a unique blend of transformational leadership mixed with a delivery mechanism of heart-centered structure. That just sounds fascinating. I'm looking forward to learning more about that. She's a transformational coach and facilitator, and she's partnered with some of the largest organizations in the world as a speaker, facilitator, and trainer to executives, entrepreneurs, and business organizations who need to level up their expertise. She's known fondly by senior executives as, like we mentioned earlier, the secret weapon. Shannon is often behind the scenes and on the stage as a key MC and host, and most recently, Shannon launched Secret Knock Women, an event dedicated to focus on true women's empowerment and positive growth. So without any further ado, please help me welcome Miss Shannon Parsons. Shannon! Hey. What's going on, Shannon? How are you?
Oh, so good. I'm really excited to be here. And I think I recognize the voice of your little intro song there.
Oh, yeah. That was my man, Joey. Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
He's the best. He's doing some goofy stuff now.
He's amazing. He always rocks the stage when he comes to Secret Knock. So love him.
Absolutely. He's doing like commercials and stuff now. Interesting things for Steuben and all kinds of cool people. I got to get him on this show soon.
There you go.
He'd be fun to have. But Shannon, let's talk about you. What's going on in the world of Shannon?
The world of Shannon. You know, it's so funny with COVID. I've been more busy this year than other years. So that's been really exciting, getting to do amazing things with amazing people. I'm in Utah right now. It's snowing. This California girl is not prepared for this cold cold weather, but I'm really excited. We've got Secret Knock coming up in September. We've got Secret Knock Women coming up in November. We've got our Prosperity Camp coming up in July. So we just have so much going on, and just really love getting to support amazing entrepreneurs and business owners as they make money while having fun.
Exactly. You were totally rocking. You got so much cool stuff going on. I've been in touch with you and Greg and everybody on the team. I'm like, I got to jump in on some of this stuff because you're all just riding this wave and doing cool stuff. So I'm like, let's bring Shannon on here. Let's see what's going on in her world. So Shannon, tell us a little bit about your story. Who is Shannon Parsons?
A long, long time ago. Yeah, I've lived in San Diego almost my whole life. I have 3 siblings and grew up just not knowing who I wanted to be in this world, not knowing what I was allowed to be in this world. So made my way, had a family, have 4 amazing kids, and found my way into public speaking. And that's really where the fun has begun for me, because when I do that, not only do I get to express who I am and all the gifts that I have, but I get to find other people in this world who are doing amazing things. I get to spotlight them. I get to interview them. I get to connect people. So as you've experienced, if there's somebody you want to know, it's like, oh, I know that person. Let me connect you. So being able to use my powers for the forces of good is really important to me. And I like to have fun doing it.
That's so cool. I actually didn't even know that you got started in speaking. So how did that kind of come to be? You woke up one morning and you're like, yeah, I think we're going to speak today. Tell us about that.
So my background is actually started with nonviolent communication and teaching parenting classes. So I used to teach parents and teachers nonviolent communication kind of skills so that everybody would be on the same team looking for win-wins. And then it progressed into one-on-one coaching. So I specialized in really helping people recover from childhood trauma. So as entrepreneurs, a lot of us will oftentimes feel that imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to be doing this? Or we feel like we hit that glass ceiling where I've done everything right. I'm pushing and pushing, and now I'm still stuck. So learning different techniques to really combine the mind body so that what we think and what we do is in alignment so that we can continue to push forward. But for me, a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago now, I was at this transitional spot where I said, okay, I don't want to be a solopreneur. I don't want to be in a home office doing coaching anymore, but I don't know what I want. So I don't know what to ask for. So I had a conversation with who I call Gus. Gus stands for God, Universe, and Spirit. I figure, why don't I get everybody on my team, make it fun?
That makes sense to me.
Right? So I had this conversation with Gus and I said, look, you know who I am. You know what I'm capable of. I don't know what I want, so I don't know what to ask for. So you need to put the right person and the right opportunity in my path and make it so obvious they're sitting right next to me. So during this conversation, I'm driving up to an event in LA, and wouldn't you know it, 2 days later, somebody sits right next to me in a seat where they weren't supposed to be. So I'm thinking, who's this guy? He's not supposed to be here. And we start a banter back and forth, and it ends up being Greg Reed, the founder of Secret Knock. And I just blurted out to him, do you need an assistant? Because everything he said was something I wanted to do. He said, I travel around interviewing people. And I thought, I want to do that. And he said, yeah, I get to be on stage and do all these amazing things. I thought, I want to do that. He said, I'm a movie producer and get to meet other people and make movies and tell their life stories. And I thought, I want to do that. So I asked him if he needed an assistant. And he said to me, well, what are you good at? And I froze and I went, loving people? Like, I'm really good at loving people, really good at mothering people. But yeah,
bad skill to have.
You know, you've seen me at our events. I'm always the one like putting all the pieces together, making everybody comfortable. So he invited me to Secret Knock, and that's when I went, oh, I like this. It first started out with me kind of standing side stage, sure. Introducing the different speakers. And then by the middle of the first day, he's like, get on stage, take center stage, introduce these people, own your space. I was like, okay, I can do this. And being able to do that, being able to connect with these amazing people, I got the bug. I'm like, I want to do this again. I want to do this more. So it's progressed into multiple events and has even gone into this opportunity where I can go to the Las Vegas Walk of Stars and I get to present the stars to the new recipients. So that's been
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that you created Gus, because a lot of times a lot of times, you know, I spent a lot of time in Christianity for a while. I spent a lot of time in a bit of like Stoicism and Buddhism and things like that, and learning just these different kind of ideologies of this idea of looking towards the universe or whatever. And you kind of just combine it all together. What kind of, I guess, caused that, Gus, to be created for you?
Oh my gosh, you know, that's such a great story, a great question. And for me, I grew up as a Christian, and all I knew was that when they were talking about fear God and those kinds of ideas, it didn't sit right with me. And I thought, this isn't the right way for me. And so then when it came time for me to be an adult and do these adulting things, I couldn't pray to God because it made me feel like, ugh. And I really like the idea of universe, this big expansive thing that's so far outside of me. And then I love the idea of spirit and my own inner connection, my highest self. And so one day I was just driving around and I was thinking, this always happens apparently when I'm driving. I'm thinking, how can I create this space where when I'm needing something outside of myself, when I'm wanting something, I can pray and I can have it come to me without feeling, ugh. And I thought, well, there's God, there's universe, there's spirit. And then I just went, oh my gosh, it's Gus. And then in that moment, I remembered that fat little mouse from, was it
Ratatouille or something? Or
I was going to say Alice in Wonderland. That's not the right one. Cinderella.
Yes.
Remember Gus, and he's wearing that red t-shirt and he's always trying to pull it down. He's so funny. And so in that moment, I started laughing. And we know that the energy of laughing is fun. And when we're having fun, things kind of effortlessly come to us. Mm-hmm. So I thought, that's it. I'm going to pray to Gus, or even Gus. And it puts me in this really lighthearted, fun kind of frame of mind. And then I've found that I'm able to actually manifest things pretty quickly with fun, right? Which is your whole thing, is like, how can we do this and have fun? How can we make money and have fun? How can we be in business and have fun? Well, for me, it's calling on the powers of Gus. And the other thing I say is I let Gus drive my bus. Some people say, be the driver of your own bus, be in charge. But for me, I know when I give up the driving and I let Gus drive my bus, I go to all kinds of places I didn't know were possible for me. I did a red carpet premiere in Hollywood for the Wishman movie premiere. I had no idea that was going to be on my cool to-do list or something to shoot for. So if I let Gus drive my bus, then I show up in all kinds of amazing destinations with amazing people laughing the whole way.
So cool. It's interesting because, you know, you look at your life, like Greg Reed, I've had him on this show, I think a couple times at this point now. I spend too much time with him. I should probably stop. But he lives such a fun life, right? Even just going to his house, he's always playing games and running around and just being, you know, semi-crazy like he is. What's that journey been like for you? Because, I mean, you kind of get the good, the bad, and the ugly of hanging out with this person who's just doing amazing things. What's that been like for you?
All right. Well, we're going to start with the ugly. Right? The downside.
That's a good way to start.
There's always a game to play, and I am not good at the games. And he's always wanting to challenge me to play something. The fun thing about that, though, is how we play games is how we play life. And you've probably heard him say that many times. So for me, I'll play the game, but I don't have any expectations on winning. So I just play for fun. So I tell him, you can play to win. I'm going to play for fun. As long as we're on the same agreement, then let's go. So mostly he plays with his assistant, Billy, but I'll show up and I'll do those things. But so that's the ugly part, right? Is that
what's your game? Do you have a particular game that you prefer? Or?
No, I'm not good at any of them. It's pool, ping pong, basketball, frisbee. I'm good at taking pictures. So if you want a photographer, I'm there. But as far as playing to win one of those games, I'm just going to show up and have the most fun.
That makes sense. I was never very competitive either. So except for when I got to Greg's house, I'm like, oh, I have to put money on the line. All right, I'll play for real.
I tell him I'm not playing for money. I'll play for hugs or push-ups.
Oh,
hugger, by the way.
So that's the ugly. What about what are the other two? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Which one do you want to do next?
So was that one the ugly?
I thought you said that was the ugly.
Okay, so let's
change it if you want.
Let's see, what's the bad? You know, I guess the bad is just that because of COVID, we haven't been doing live events. You know, Working with someone like Greg is really interesting because he lives by the principles that he teaches. So trying to find a bad thing is like, oh, I don't get to spend enough time at the house, because I work remotely half the time. So not getting to be there as much as I would want to be would be part of the bad thing.
Sure.
Or not having enough live events where we could stand on stage and inspire lives would be part of the bad thing. So this leads me into the good thing, which there's so much good, because what you see with him and what he's created with Secret Knock, that's what life is really like. So for me coming in, it was a huge shock, because I've always heard that you can think positive and live this kind of way, but I'd never actually seen it in action or seen it practiced or modeled. So for example, if something happens, we're planning something, and then like one of our speakers drops out, he might go, I wonder what kind of good is going to come from this. So I get to see him transmute this negative energy in real time, and it's actually very quick. So for me, it's like, oh, now I can do that too. When something doesn't work out or doesn't go the way I want, it's like, okay, where's the opportunity here? And so like the good now goes to best, because it's really helped me transform my own mindset, because I'm getting to practice every day looking for the good, always looking for the positive outcome. So really, there is no ugly, there is no bad. Everything is serving a purpose. And a lot of times we look back and we go, oh, if I had known this back then, I wouldn't have been so worried, or I wouldn't have been so upset or angry. Well, if we can just do that right here in the moment and look for that positive thing, look for the gift, look for the treasure, look for that cool thing that's coming, it always does.
Exactly.
It always does.
So cool. That's so amazing. It's interesting kind of being behind the curtain of like what else is going on. And when there's a congruency with people like that, people like Greg or anybody really, I think any achiever at a high level has that congruency. Otherwise they wouldn't be achieving at that high level. It's just so cool to see how much you can create in your own life at that point. At least for me, that was one of the biggest things to pick up on.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And one of the things I've learned too is that the caliber of people that we surround ourselves with are very like-minded. They are who they are in their outward appearance and in their normal day life. So and now it actually shocks me if I see somebody that's on stage and they're like rah, rah, powwow, and they get off stage and they're not that same person. Maybe they're negative or mean to the staff or something. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that still existed.
Right? So where do you see yourself going with all this, Shannon? Where do you kind of fit into this equation?
I see myself in the bus, letting Gus drive the way. So part of it, I don't know, because part of it is all like opportunities literally fall in my lap because I keep saying yes. You know, this is the law of attraction. But then there's the action, right? So opportunities show up, I say yes, and I do it. And then another opportunity shows up, I say yes and do it. So for one thing, we're going to be doing Secret Knock Women again this year, now that the world is opening back up.
Yay.
So I get to be on stage with more amazing women who are really making a change. So I'm really excited about that. So past that, I don't know, but I'm ready for it.
I love it. I got to put your quote on here. Opportunities keep coming to me because I keep saying yes. I had an old friend of mine. Actually, he's still a friend of mine. Old mentor, one of my first mentors. He was teaching me real estate investing back when I was full on in real estate investing. And one of the things that he said is every opportunity that comes his way for a deal, the answer is always yes until it's no. And I basically adopted that, and I'm like, that makes so much sense. And so now anytime anybody's like, hey, you want to be on a podcast, on a stage, on a this or on a that, I'm like, yeah, sure. And then if it becomes no later, it becomes no later. But, you know, for right now, it's a yes.
Say yes and then figure out how to do it if you don't know how to do it. When Greg first came to me and said, hey, Shannon, I want you to produce the Hollywood movie premiere for the movie Wishman. I'd never done that before. I had no idea what I was doing, but I said yes and I figured it out. And then the other cool thing about when we do this kind of work is we're surrounding ourselves with other like-minded people. So I wasn't doing it by myself. I knew who to ask. I had a whole rally behind me in order to pull this stuff off. So.
Yeah, that's always the thing. I actually coached a couple of other coaches, and a lot of times coaches get in that thing where they're like, oh, what if they ask me a question that I can't answer? I'm like, good. That's the best place you can be in. Exactly. And a lot of people get discouraged because of that, because they're like, oh, I'm no longer the expert. I'm no longer the authority, this, that, or the third. And I think the opposite. I think, one, letting your client know your authenticity and your vulnerability is a bigger advantage to you than it is, trying to lie your way through it or, fake your way through it. And then two is there's two types of answers. One of the ones I know the answer to, and two is I know where to point you to get the answer. So, yeah.
And then they're not really getting you, they're getting your whole tribe.
Exactly.
So I even tell my kids, you don't have to know the answer. You just need to know who to ask. What a great value that you're giving to your clients, saying, hey, not only do you get me, you get the wisdom of all of my mentors and all of my tribe, so that if something comes up that I don't know the answer to, I know exactly who to ask. So no matter what, we've got your back. And that's what I love about Secret Knock is not only are you networking with the people in that room, you're networking and connecting with their sphere of influence. So it's not 300 people. It ripples out in all those ways, so that we're really getting to be impacted by people with different walks of life, different expertise, not only in the room, but outside.
So cool. It's so cool. That was the biggest difference for me. I switched this year from one-on-one coaching to doing a mastermind. And since I did that, I was like, I don't know if I'll ever do one-on-one coaching again, because the value's just not there. I'm like, you're getting the same value of me charging you $25,000 for one-on-one coaching that you are for, $2,500 for a mastermind. Like, there's so much more value because of the people that are in there. And like you said, it expands out of that. It's like, the funniest thing that I didn't even see coming was within like the first 4 to 6 weeks, the people in my mastermind who I selected to kind of launch it with me were all doing business together. Yep. They all started these different things and they were coordinating here and making partnerships here and there and like doing all this stuff. And now it's just growing and growing and growing. And it's amazing what's happening when that all comes together.
Yeah. And you didn't have to do all the work. You're literally getting to sit back and watch all this magic happen. All you did was bring together all the like-minded people. It's perfect. What a great way to make money and have fun.
It's making so much sense, and it's making dollars too, which is also a good thing.
Like win-win.
Yeah. I mean, it's so cool. I always describe masterminds as an environment where 1 + 1 = 3, because there's just something else created in that, I asked a friend about it and he called it sacred ground. He's like, it's this sacred ground inside of the mastermind where something just comes to life that couldn't come to life any other way unless we brought those pieces together in the strategic way that we did. And it's just so much fun doing it that way.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I applaud you for your success with your mastermind. I'm selfishly proud that I got to be part of that.
Yeah, it was so cool. So I got to ask. So it's funny because I came out to Greg's house last July, right? So like this time last year, and we hung out there. I lost all my money to him and all the different games that we played. So it's all still there. I got to come back and get it back. What's it been like being like closed down for the last year? Has it been hard, different, better, the same?
It's totally different, right? Because Greg and I are used to hitting the road on a weekly basis to go do speaking engagements. So we just haven't had that. We haven't had that human interaction. On the plus side, because we have the Mastermind Association, we were able to run our own masterminds called the Secret Knock Society. So again, even though we're not in person, we're still getting to really connect with some amazing entrepreneurs, business owners. We've had the same kind of experience you have, where everybody coming together, they're collaborating, they're connecting, they're sharing their resources. We had one of our guys quit his job and buy a Tesla and start his own business. He's really successful. One of our women got booked on a TED Talk stage. So that was one of her bucket list things. So we've been able to see how even in lockdown, coming together through the masterminds and providing these resources for each other, the business growth of the people in the group has grown exponentially. And then we get to watch it. We get to witness it and celebrate with them. So even though we're not face to face, we're still getting to have that really fun connection, that camaraderie, that celebration. So that's awesome. Been really nice.
So do you see it as as an opportunity to like setting everything up in the future, or how do you kind of look at it going forward, I guess?
For the mastermind or for something else?
Just for, I guess, like your business in general. Like has it opened more doors for you, or is it kind of a new game that you're playing now?
Both, right? It's a new game because, as many people say, we've had to pivot. I'm glad we don't have to use that word anymore. But we've changed directions, because we weren't doing the mastermind before in that way. So that's led to some cool new opportunities. But we're really excited to get back out there and do what we were doing before. But there is something that's happened with this coming inside during COVID, is that we've made bigger, deeper, broader connections than we had in the past. So looking at, okay, well, how do we keep doing that and keep growing our sphere in that way while we kind of go back to this new way of doing what we used to do, right? So even the speaking is going to be a little bit different, but exciting to see how it all plays out and how people are willing to travel. I can tell you, for Secret Knock in September, we have people like trying to buy as many tickets as they can because all they want is to be in person. And September is far enough out there that we can say, okay, by the way things are going, we're good. And people are like, I want to be there. I want to be there. Who can I bring? How many people can I bring? Can I come for just a day? Can I stay late? Like, everybody wants to come together and share that positive energy, those resources, that collaborations. So it's really going to be exciting. And we're doing the red carpet soiree this time, right?
This is so cool. You got to tell everybody this is going to be the most ambitious, biggest Secret Knock ever. Tell us about it, Shannon. What's going on this year?
Usually Secret Knock is just 2 days, but this one, because everybody is so eager to get together, we thought, well, how can we make it amazing, bigger, better, more unique and different than anything we've ever done before? So Greg had this idea to throw in a red carpet soiree. So it's going to be the morning Secret Knock, and then we're going to break for lunch, and everybody go get ready, put on your cool gowns, your cool 3-piece suit and top hat, whatever your thing is. Let's get dressed up. Let's come together. Let's do some Hollywood style lights, camera, action. We're going to have a red carpet and lots of fun things that I'm not allowed to tell you because it's a secret, as in the name, Secret Knock. But as you know, we always try to come up with something that's new, unique, different. And our goal this year is for people to leave going, what just happened?
I love that. That is so cool. This will actually be my first Secret Knock. So,
no, you've only been to our smaller private events?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, all right. I'm excited for you.
So I don't know what that means. This is like the first, like, entering into like a frat for the first time or something. I'm probably gonna get like dunked in a pool.
Well, as you know, Greg likes to play games. So imagine Secret Knock is kind of like TED Talk style meets interview style meets game show. So somebodies are going to be pulled up on stage to play games for prizes and money. So there's going to be some shenanigans going on.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
It's going to be fun. There's going to be collaboration. There's going to be connection and a lot of fun, lots of laughing. And as you know, we always try to make everything audience participation. This isn't our event. This is your event. What do you want? What do you want to learn? And one of the funniest things I've seen at Secret Knock is, because we actually encourage people to speak up. If there's a speaker on stage and there's someone in the audience that doesn't agree, we'll actually allow them to have a conversation. And I've seen 2 speakers get questioned by people in the audience. One of them was about artificial intelligence, which went right over my head, but it was really engaging for everybody else to listen to these 2 different views on such an interesting subject.
That's awesome. That's actually super cool. You're giving away too much now, Shannon. You gotta
oh my gosh. Okay, I should give something away, because this is something that I don't really know much about, but it's like the new big thing. It kind of like goes off of the Bitcoin, which is the NFTs.
Mm-hmm. We're
having like whole stuff dedicated to the NFT digital out there world. So I'm trying to learn as fast as I can.
You want to know the funniest thing? That description was about 100 times better than I could describe NFTs. So go you. I still have no clue what they are. I invited Greg to come and speak to my mastermind members, and he was talking about NFTs.
Yeah.
And one of the guys in my mastermind is a crypto guy. Like he's just like a total crypto geek nerd. He wrote a book, the Scaredy Cat's Guide to Crypto kind of thing. And he was like geeking out on it. He's like, dude, Greg, we got to talk about this. This is awesome. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I can barely spell NFT. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Non-fungible token. What does fungible mean?
Fungible is like how easily money is transported.
Okay.
So like the reason that like we don't transact in like cows or cattle is because they're not fungible. You can't move them very easily. Or like heavy rocks or something like that. So that's
all right. So that goes back to let's make money, making money easy and fun.
Maybe, I don't know. Something like that. It's something that has to do with digital, the internet, probably electricity at some point, and finances.
Well, I'm learning as fast as I can. And for anybody who's into it, we got you covered.
So, disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Please consult your accountants or attorneys because they probably know less than we do, but still, we'll see. I love it. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's funny because everybody now is a new crypto expert after like the last 2 months. They're like, oh, crypto went up 8,000 points. Let me teach you about it. I'm like, dude, you bought one thing yesterday. Like, what?
Yeah, we want to see the tried and true results over time.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not messing with any of that stuff. My big thing is find your thing, focus on it, and make money, and then go do something else and add on to it.
Yeah, be an expert in the things that you're an expert in. And when you don't know, ask the people in your sphere because they're there to support you.
Boom. Mic drop. I need a fake mic. Here, water bottle drop. Bam. There it is. I love it. So Shannon, what's next for you? What is next in the world of Shannon? What are you working on? What's your top secret thing that you got going on?
Well, how can I tell top secret things?
Well, you have to tell me in a top secret way.
I promise you it's going to be out there. It's going to be in front of cameras. It's going to be on stage. The other thing that we're doing is Greg and I launched the book publishing company back in September. So getting to tell people's stories through their books has been really fun. So we've got a lot of books that are going to be coming out. So book parties. But as far as I go, as for me, we've got Secret Knock Women coming up in November, and that's just the beginning.
Ooh, we're going to see a whole Shannon society.
The Secret Shannon Society? I like it.
Ooh. That if you end up getting that domain name, I'll just take like 2 or 3% on that one.
On the Secret Shannon Society?
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be like its own like clan. Can you use the word clan anymore? Or what's it? Cult. Yeah, cult's the one that's the bad one, right? Nobody likes those.
How about tribe? I like tribe.
Tribe works.
Right? Because tribe is kind of like old school. Like we used to survive in tribes. And now tribe is kind of like the new way of like, hey, they're in my tribe. They're my inner circle. They're my peeps.
It works with me. I just like the Secret Shannon Society. Get that alliteration going on. It's even hard to say. Secret.
As long as I don't have to do all the work and I can make money having fun, I'm in.
That's it. You heard it here first, folks. That's the whole secret to life. Shannon.
And I want to make a big impact. So in everything that we do, it's always about, let's make some money. Let's have some fun, but let's also make a really big impact because every single human, if you're alive on this planet, you have a gift. And you can share your gift to impact the lives of others in a positive way, then you're doing your job. It doesn't matter what your job is, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working at 7-Eleven. If you are sharing your gift in only the way you can and make an impact, then that's what we want. That's what I want to be able to do, share my gifts with as many people as I can, spread smile, laughter, joy, and any kind of positive impact.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, today I was looking at, I had a good month in my mastermind. And to me, it's interesting because for me, the bigger thing was the amount of people that I can now impact. Mm-hmm. It was more about, the paycheck was great, but look at all these people that now decided to come in and join this mastermind and how much their lives are going to change over the next 6 months it's like, it's so cool just to think about the amount of value that you're giving to the world.
And the ripple effect, because you're not just impacting their lives, but everybody that's associated with them, because their mindset is now different. Their momentum is different. Their energy is completely different because of what they've been able to receive from your gathering, your group. So that's amazing.
Excellent. I love it. Shannon, this is so cool. I'm so glad you're here. Shannon, before we go, what piece of advice, words of wisdom, little bit of inspiration would you like to leave our guests with today before we say goodbye?
I will go with my most favorite quote, which is actually song lyrics from the Eagles song Desperado. And it says, "It may be raining, but there's a rainbow above you." Everything that's happening in your life, instead of looking at like, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, why is this happening for me? It may be raining, but there's a rainbow above you. There's always that light at the end of the tunnel. There's always that rainbow. There's always something. There's always a gift there. So if you can ask yourself, why is this happening for me? And look for that rainbow in the moment, you'll find it much quicker, with much less heartache, financial, and really be able to move forward quickly. And again, get back to being your amazing self as only you are here to do.
I love it. Shannon, you are the best. You might be my favorite. Don't tell anybody I told you that, though, because I'm not allowed to play favorites. Shannon, this has been so cool. I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you were here. And remember, for anybody out there who's watching, look for your rainbows, because you might be standing right under it. Shannon, we got to do this again soon. And if not, I'll see you in September.
See you in September. Thanks, Fred.
You got it. See you guys. Have a good one.